Here we are. Epis Episode number 4 of the King's Court. I have two of my very special friends, not just in the business, but I've become very close with them. I don't see them a lot. It's kind of like a long lost cousin that you talk to twice a year. So I met these guys back in 2015 when they came down to do our show down in Boca Raton, and Skip came down, competed, and brought Cleveland, brought his wife. Um, just we just had a great old time, and what makes it even better is a few months later he reached out to me and wanted to promote for the AMBF, and I was excited because I love to have people of their character with me and around me, because not only does it make me feel great, but it makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing when I can get people like Tangela and Skip Gillen as part of my team. So, how you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Well. Thanks for coming on the show. A couple of glitches. I gave you the wrong time. I actually gave you the wrong twice.
Yeah.
I'm not the most technical savvy guy in the world, but you know what? We're gonna just talk for a little bit, maybe like 45 minutes. Very excited to have you guys on. Obviously, my trips to Atlanta are circled on the calendar. I'm still waiting to make that circle for this year, though. But
right, as are we.
I enjoyed coming down there so much that I used an excuse to have a show in March 20th, just so I can come down there and hang out and see you guys, and then even sneak in a car race while I'm down there. So, and I got to get some barbecue. But you know what? I did learn one thing: if you're gonna eat barbecue with Skip, you got to get there first, because he eats it all. That man walks around with a turkey leg or some kind of leg. That was incredible. We watched this man eat, but I did go to the best barbecue place. I don't know. We were driving through a bunch of mansions, and next thing you know, we're at a barbecue place. Right. What town was that? I know it was a few years ago. We ate outside.
Over in the Buckhead area, right near the governor's
mansion. Yeah. First of all, I couldn't believe the homes, and second of all, that food was amazing. All right, well, let's get down to business. Again, thank you for coming on. It's like you guys are, again, it's like long lost cousins that you never see. I always enjoy being around you guys, and I can't wait to get down to Atlanta. I can't wait to get down in a couple of weeks to Columbus, Georgia, where you guys will be. I hope you're still coming, right?
Oh, yeah, we'll be there.
We'll be there.
All right. You're bringing Cleveland too, right?
Bringing Cleveland, yes.
And I think if Derek's listening, Derek's supposed to be there too, but I got to remind him and let him know.
He's coming too.
All right. So both of you guys were competitors.
Yes.
So I'm looking at my notes. You guys did a very good job on your notes, even though you had Tangela didn't know what a 2-minute drill was. But that's all right. I didn't know it either when my father told me to make a 2-minute drill. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's football. I don't know. But it is amazing what you learn when you're a competitor, the drive and the dedication and the determination of being able to do things. And both of you guys are very successful. And both of you guys have very successful children. One on stage, and one who's in med school, I believe, in overseas somewhere. Is she still in med school, Alexandria?
A consultant. She actually she went to Yale undergrad and the Asia School of Business in conjunction with MIT.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So I got the wrong.
She's actually in Germany right now. So she
wow,
China and went to Germany.
Wow, good for her. Yeah. That's Germany is where for my 60th birthday, I'm going to Germany. I'm going to go find where my ancestors grew up, probably 400 years ago, but I'm finding them. So we could talk about your other daughter too. She's a little famous herself. So Sydney Gillen, who, and I'm amazed that I've actually bumped elbows with her. I mean, obviously I'm a huge fan of the sport, and she just makes it sweeter when I get to go down and hang out with Sid. And she's just, you guys are as successful and as determined as you are. You guys are real people, and that's what's so great about going down to Atlanta. If people meet you, they walk away saying, "Wow, those guys are awesome people." And your kids are the same. Your kids are the same way.
They better
might as well bring up. Yeah, they better be. Yeah, when when I tell this. I tell the story. You know, I have a bunch of notes and questions. They're probably not even going to work today. I tell the story about when Sid came home for your show, and she's asking you for the car because she didn't have a car, and you're like, "What time are you going to be home?" Meanwhile, this is Miss. At the time, I think she had won 2 Miss Olympias already, and she's like, "I can't even catch a break." She says, "I got to go back to California just so I can get a break." But just a story of doing things right, raising your kids right,
Mhm.
teaching them the right way to do things. And you know what? This world needs a hell of a lot more people like you guys in it,
Oh, thank
to
you.
be honest. And I mean, I talk about you to everybody that wants to. Oh, you know, Sid. I said, yeah, but you should see her parents. Her parents are freaking awesome. So let's talk about. I want to know how you guys became so close with Cleveland, because Cleveland is one of my favorite people in the sport, and I just get a kick out of him. And truly, I mean, I go back and forth on Facebook a lot of times with him, and he's just a great guy. I've competed against him a couple times. How did your relationship start with Cleveland?
Well, it
If you don't, if you can tell it,
I can
if
tell
it's
it.
good if it's good for radio.
It's good. It's good for radio. Well, many years ago, during Tangela's initial training for her competitive training, I used to do all of her training for her. Then I got a little bit preoccupied moving forward because work got in the way, things like that, and she needed somebody to guide her, somebody that has the same sort of mindset about training.
He volunteered himself to.
Yeah, yeah, same sort of mind. So, lo and
Yeah,
behold, there comes Cleveland. Same sort of workout. He's a beast in the gym. He just he loves it, and to this day, he just celebrated his 49th birthday the other day,
yeah.
and he looks phenomenal right now. He can step on anybody's stage,
I bet he does.
damage. But they started training together, and he just kind of continued the work ethic that we kind of developed early on about our training. So he trains just like us, and then next thing you know, he's like my surrogate son.
Yeah,
So
family.
you know, he's family. So we've been together quite a few years now, and he's the go-to person in case I need a push or anything like that, because he will really push you.
And this is since 2007.
Yeah,
Together.
Yeah, because they got in fact, I did all of Cleveland's diets for every show he's ever done, pretty much. And you know, he got all of his pro card. He got his very first pro card along the same night with Sydney in 2007. Then they started competing as pros, and I started doing all their diets and prep for them way back then.
you know, I got to tell you, when I did the 2 years in a row, I did the shows in Troy. I
Yeah.
did Ray's show,
Yeah.
and the one year I beat Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then the next year came back, and I think he ended up winning. I think he won the class the second time I came back.
Yeah, I was
And
there. I saw
and
you.
I met him. I met him backstage, and I was like, this guy. A lot of times I get mad when people beat me. I'm like, damn, he beat me. And I was like, I didn't even care. I just thought he was the greatest guy. And actually, that was one of my. The year before, I didn't really I didn't have a good experience. I just whatever. But that year, it was just a group of guys backstage. Anthony Blake was there.
Yeah.
Who's also a very good friend of mine. And I met Cleveland. I didn't meet him the year before. So yeah, it was a great time and a great experience, and we've been friends ever since then. So yeah, he just brightens the room up. He's just always smiling, and I never see him in a bad mood, but I'm sure he is. I'm sure you guys have seen him in a bad mood, but he probably doesn't last very long.
He's in pretty good mood most of the time. Yeah.
So I want to know, Tangela, what's it like to be Miss Olympia's business manager? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Between her appearances, clothing line, the tour, she keeps me busy. It's almost 24/7, to be honest. It's a lot of work.
Now, does she get on your butt and say, "Hey, Mom, what are you doing? We need to get this stuff done"? Does she get on your case, or you let her know who Mom is?
Oh no, I separated. So when I'm business manager, I check and balance. If I don't have the right PR for certain things, she'll put me in check. But for the most part, I'm not Mom when it comes to business. But in terms of having to be on top of things, I'm always usually ahead or right on it. That's why she hired me.
So you're good at separating the two. I don't know if I'd be.
Yeah.
It's kind of. I don't know if I could do that. Skip, could you do that, or
We could do-
that's why she's
We
in
we
charge?
we kind of have to. And it's if you know Sid is she's a 365-day athlete. She doesn't it's like her little catchphrase all gas no brakes. She doesn't
Yeah.
slow down, and she doesn't accept less than 100%.
That's right.
The day after she won this last Olympia, the next morning she's in the gym training,
Yeah.
which people just don't
Oh no, I've
understand.
seen.
So there's no play. We didn't raise any any folks that play. This is her business, it's her livelihood,
Exactly.
and she expects her mom to be right on board, and mom jumps right in there and handles that business.
Mhm.
Well, you know, when she won it once, you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. She won it twice. Wow, that's neat. She won it 3 times, and you guys are probably like, whoa. And then she won it 4 times. I just can't even imagine the feeling that you have. Your daughter,
Mhm.
4-time Miss Olympia. And I mean, people dream about winning a show, let alone an Olympia show. She's
Right.
won it 4 times.
4 times.
Right.
When did you guys know? I don't want to turn this into the Sid show, but I mean, we could if we want, but I want to talk about you guys too. But she's, I don't know, it's just maybe it's something in the water down in Atlanta. She's the most level headed person. You would not know that she's Miss Olympia if
Right.
she walked up and like I've taken a million, I'm like her biggest fan. I take a million pictures with her. I show her pictures to my friends. I said, this is Miss Olympia. And they may not be into the sport. Yeah, look at that was a cheat night. She's out there eating, and she's like, I called her over to take a picture with me. But when did you know like she had it? Like I know she was obviously a great athlete in high school. I don't know. I mean, did you know that she was special? Did you know the determination, or is that something you guys saw and you instilled it in her to keep going for her dreams?
Well, we could kind of see it early on. She wanted when she first got into the whole bodybuilding thing. She started really, really early because we were competing. We took her to shows very, very early, 6, 7 years of age. She went to the shows, so that when she started competing, once she got out there and got that first taste, her first time on stage wasn't a good experience for her. Anything you know about our family, if instead of being deterred by adversity, we get on it. So that next show, she came back, she won, she got a pro card at 15, her second show out. Then she started competing. For one thing, she's a lifetime natural athlete, and that's what we want to make sure that people understand that. Even competing as the best in the world, she is a lifetime natural athlete. So that when she got out on stage and she started competing with women 10, 15 years her senior, and she was just winning and winning and winning. It got so bad that other competitors wouldn't show up to the show if they knew she was coming. So that basically they couldn't, the promoter wouldn't even allow people to know that she was in the show because her physique started to take form. And it was just something that we kept seeing and like, okay, and we're looking and we're being objective and other people are looking and, the judges are awarding it. And then we didn't know who it was judging the show. It was nothing funny, but it's just that, she just started with, we're like, okay. And so her mom, just on a fluke, they decided they're going to ride up and they're going to do an NPC show, just kind of compete. And she went there in what was that? Battle at the River or some show like that in Tennessee, and decided went up there and won a qualification to go to next level. And then she proceeded to go and do all those next level things. Next thing you know, she's turning around there. She's in college. She turns around, comes home, flies home from college, thinks she's going to do the nationals. She did the nationals. She won the nationals. we're like, okay. First call out, first position out of 40-something women. I'm like, okay, this is about to be ugly now. So we kind of had an idea how this was going. So she started doing really, really well, and her work ethic has always been, bar none, one of the best. She's a outstanding student, outstanding businesswoman. She does her thing. She really does her thing. But we knew that early on she was going to be special.
You touched upon something that I've always been asked too. She's a lifelong natural athlete, right?
Right.
How do you feel when people question that. I mean, we've all been questioned about our being natural.
Right.
Now here's Miss Olympia, IFBB, Miss Olympia,
Right.
on stage with mostly enhanced athletes.
Right.
And when you see her and when you're around her, people say, hey, well, she's not natural. I'm like, no, she's natural. First of all, the reason why she's natural, because if she isn't, her parents will kick her ass. That's the first thing. But then the second thing, I said, look, she just knows how to pose. She, like, when you that picture on the left there,
Right.
she doesn't walk around like that. She looks like a little tiny thing walking around.
Right.
It's only when she starts taking her clothes off, you're like, damn, this girl's jacked.
That's
So how do you feel when people, I mean, I would imagine you're probably used to it, or maybe they're just afraid to say it to you because you're so big. But well, how do you handle that? I mean, take it as a compliment. Do you get tired of it? Is it like annoying that people question her? Because when they question her, then they're kind of questioning you, kind of thing.
Right.
And I know that you're very involved, and I know as a father,
Right.
I'd be like, I can't really, but you know me, you know what I would do. So how do you deal with that?
Well, I deal with it rather easily when I'm in the gym or with other people. I basically tell them, and there's an old shirt we used to wear all the time. No, I'm not on roids, but thanks for asking.
Thanks for asking.
So basically, we just said, well, we appreciate that. We're going to take that as a compliment, because what it is, we run across people every day that are trying to compete. They have the wrong parameters for what it takes to be competitive in the various categories, and we don't necessarily step out to correct them all the time, but we just say that, you got to stop and think about it. She's been training since she was 12 years old. She's been training.
Right, of course. That's
12 years old. She trained basically to correct scoliosis and a curvature of the spine, so that she didn't have to wear the apparatus and everything that people have to do. So her natural core had to be developed such that it didn't cause her back pain. So her starting to train with weights at that younger age, if you see pictures of her at 16 and 17 years old, you'll know that it's just genetic. And then I point and say, well, look at me. Guys are trying to get big. I'm always trying to get small. She's a hybrid of her mother and I. So, right now, I'm a nice hard 330 pounds right now, but I can move a little weight right now, and everything. But I'll be 59 years old in a couple of days. But the thing is, and I'm not showing any signs of losing muscle, which is always a kind of an interesting thing when I go to the doctor and they do tests, they're like, well, something's wrong. You're kind of an anomaly. Sid is a little bit of that anomaly between me and her mom. Her mom always, she's genetic. She has biceps, shoulders, things like that. She just has genes. And I often tell people, if you are really so disturbed by this, you might want to go back and get you a new set of parents. Because
right. You know what? It's funny you say that.
Mm-hmm.
People always ask me, how did you become like a good bodybuilder? And I said, I got to be honest. I said, I picked the right parents. You obviously didn't.
Right. That's right.
So you're proof to my theory as well.
That's right. Exactly.
But you can let Sid know that I'm her number one defender up in New Jersey.
We'll let her
because I'm like, you know what? I said I should punch you for saying that about Sid. I've seen her work. I've seen her in the gym. I've seen it firsthand, and it's just. So I was just wondering how that you actually handled it probably a lot better than I would, of course.
I don't get irate.
So I want a couple other questions. You guys have been together for 42 years.
Yes.
That's a long time.
Yeah, long time. Same old crackers.
And married for 34. Congratulations. Actually, that's in June. That's amazing. And that is something.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have some questions. I asked you about Sid already.
Okay.
I asked you about Cleveland. See, I asked all these questions already. All right, here you go. Who does more work promoting your shows?
Between the two of us?
Okay.
Yeah.
How you want to
It's
answer that?
the work. Well, I think we probably do an equal amount.
But different.
It's just different.
It's different.
Our focuses are different. Whenever to ensure, it's like let me give you this way. The first time for the very first show that we had, you asked me if I really was sure I wanted to have a pro component to the show. You know, that was one thing you asked. I said, well, you know, I know a lot of people. I've been in the industry for a minute, and I'm pretty sure that I can get a number that will make it worthwhile for us to have a pro show. And
Yeah.
need to go
And you
about
did.
funding to pay everybody. So I figured if I'm going to be giving out $10,500 in cash and guarantee the person, that's what the competitors like, because we guarantee our money. So it's not like if I say
Right.
I'm out that amount of money, I'm gonna either have to pay it out of my pocket or I got to get out there and hustle. So what I did was I stake out the gyms and I pre-sell tickets. So I usually pre-sell 100 to 120 tickets at whatever $40 a hit, so that I can ensure that I got a little cushion as we move forward. And then I start doing my advertising, and that whole little 6 degrees of separation type thing, where I get one person to say to another person, and so forth, so on. And then we lobbied with one of our lifelong friends, Biff, the master chef of Atlanta, and I let people know we're having barbecue and everything at our shows, which is unheard of at a bodybuilding show.
You better, and you better get there before Skip does.
That's right. That's right. And so we've actually had people to come to the show and buy a $40 ticket just to come and eat some ribs and turkey legs. So we do our marketing in a different way. Tangela is all of the behind the scenes type things, and with our sponsors and things like that. She did most of the sponsorship arrangements and things of that nature. So we get a good number of sponsors and all those contacts, the computer contacts. She has, in terms of computer skills, she's much more computer literate. So she'll reach out to them that way and get things done. I'm the more grassroots person. I get out there and press the flesh and make sure I get people to get to me to buy these tickets. And I do something that people don't think about doing. I get the tickets in hard copy so that I can actually sell and put the ticket in your hand. And then if they don't want to buy a ticket from me, I say, I'll take your money. Then I'll put the ticket on the seat and we'll hold a place for you. Even if you don't show up, your cash will.
And I start recruiting gym because I'm in the gym a lot more than Skip is these days, but he's getting better. But I started recruiting athletes, not even athletes, just people who are working out in the gym a year in advance. So I had like now I have a whole bunch of amateurs. We're strong on the pro end, but now on the amateur end, I have about 6 guys. They look great. 2 ladies. I just start recruiting. I take a look at them. I look at the time frame we have. Oh, you could get ready for July, and I start pulling them then. So it's close to, I would say, about 10 people I already have recruited, and some of them from last year, and some of them from this year.
Yeah, and people are reaching out. I know they've reached out to the organization directly, but last year was really that was it almost brought me to tears when we couldn't have the show last year because of the venue situation and so forth. But I fully had. The year before, we had like 30 pros that we actually got a chance to judge. We had 30 pros in the first 3 weeks. They just called me and they sent their money to me like
all the figure women.
Bam, all the figure women. We had that massive figure category. We had like 12, 13 figure women that year, figure women. So the show last year probably would have hit 100 or 100 plus, big at the way it was going. Because in the first 3 weeks, I had 30 plus pros to reach out to me and were trying to send me their money. So when we had to close the doors down, I guess we were seeing that upward momentum and everything too. So all the hard work and everything has really been paying off in terms of the show. That's why we're hoping that everything can go off without a hitch this time. And we're having a venue issue because we're getting, and because COVID has still got folks on lockdown in the sense that we've been around. We've driven an hour outside of Atlanta looking at a venue. Just to see if we can find a venue. Beautiful venues, absolutely beautiful. 550 capacity. You can only have 50 people in the thing. Our competitors will number more than 50. So I'm like, okay. So we're just moving around. And Tangia's got a massive list of all these venues that she's been looking at, trying to get them to just say, okay, we didn't care. We didn't even ask them what it cost because I've already got that amount of money already in the Elite Physique account, ready to pay for the venue up front. So we're just sitting there, just kind of trying to see if somebody will be able to go through the whole process with us and allow us to take the precautions we need to make it happen.
Well, I'm confident that you'll figure it out. And the sad thing is like last year we had a very good year set up in the AMBF. We had a full schedule lined up. We had
Yep.
a lot of people wanting to do shows.
Yep.
And yeah, literally, I was the day before our Columbus show
Yeah.
that I got a phone call from the venue canceling it. And I was like, oh, this is not good. And,
Right.
then I'm up here in New Jersey where the whole world just fell apart.
Right.
And so kind of like what I did, I've taken advantage this year. We're not going to have as many shows, and I can't book anything in a high school. So I've
Right.
kind of like, it's actually a blessing in disguise where I've been able to kind of like maybe upgrade some of the venues, put it in different spots, and not have as many shows, but just put out good show. Like not just have a show to have a show. I want to make sure that the venue's better. I'm like double the amount of cost for the venues, but I want to make this year a great show for the AMBF.
Right.
And then learn from it, and then go forward, and then grow from it. I already have probably 2 or 3 people that have approached me to promote for us next year.
Okay.
So this year will be a good springboard for 2022. And I do have to tell a story about when one of your shows a couple years ago. I don't know. I wasn't there yet. So Lance, our photographer, texts me. This is how you guys are serious. Lance texts me and says, Skip wants to know where you are. I'm like, what do you mean? It's only like 10:30. He wants you here. He says you're supposed to be here. I was like, okay, I'll be right there. 10 minutes later, I was there. I walked in and I was like a little kid. I was afraid to even go near you. I was doing something else. I'm like, hey. Then I finally said, I walked up to you. I said, Skip, what do you want me to do? No, get those banners up and do this and do that. I'm like, oh, shit. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was apologizing to my dad, but I'm older than you. I'm like, what am I doing? But that's how serious, when it's showtime, it's showtime.
Oh,
so yeah, so
work now.
that is, I was gonna ask the question about so COVID, and do you have to wear a mask in the gym? No, I don't think, right? Or do you? Or is it up to you?
Depends on what gym you're in. I wear a mask every second I'm in the gym.
And I don't.
Tangela doesn't. But I wear a mask every second. I train medical professionals and things like that wear 2 masks. Things like that. Because,
Right.
Until they feel like until you get immunized, then you need to probably continue to wear your mask. Because they got a little deadline set up for everything when they think things will kind of curtail a little bit. But they're wearing a mask. I'm wearing a mask. It's a little difficult to breathe a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
But I squatted the other day with a mask on. Got done, moved to the distant corner, tried to take my mask off, breathe a little bit, put my mask back on, and went back. So, but we find a way to get it done. If you're determined, you're gonna get it done.
And we're not under people I have.
Yeah, we're
that I work with. And well, you got to come to the new Madhouse. The Madhouse is over 32,000 square feet.
Yes.
So
I can't wait. It's already.
So we're not.
It's already on my to-do list when I come down for the show in Columbus. We're going to the. We're going to go to the car race. We're going to go to the gym first.
There you go. There you go.
So we're not under people. So I
can't wait. Yeah, well, up in New Jersey, everybody's got to wear a mask in the gyms. And there's some gyms that don't make you some, but there's so many people that still they just can't let it go. They drive by and see somebody without a mask on, they'll call you out. It's just, but the mask is something I don't think is going to go away very, very soon up here in New Jersey for sure. So to be honest, I'm excited for our show in March 20th. Which will be live streamed by Subculture. I don't know if you guys familiar with it. So we're going to be on. We're going to so we're going to be on live. We might even have Mark Lobliner might actually show up. That's a rumor. We'll see if we can pressure him into coming. He said he wants to come. He's in Nashville now, so it's not too bad of a drive.
Okay.
So hopefully he'll show up. But yeah. I'm excited to get in the car and do anything. I haven't done anything in a year. I haven't driven my car farther than an hour. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be to coming down there and then seeing all my friends. I haven't seen you guys in a long time. I'm very excited.
Right.
You guys have anything else you want to share? We're almost done. You have anything else you want to share with the people out in Facebook land?
Well, just as a plug for Sid. Sid is actually having a flawless posing seminar,
a retreat
in
retreat,
in Cancun, and it's actually they're going to be gone during my birthday, which my birthday is March 25th. So they'll be down in Cancun. It's an all expense type deal. All the food and everything is thrown in if you want to participate, but they can go to her site and kind of, register for that thing.
Deadline's March 16th.
Yep. And we're just, other than that, we're just working on things and trying to make sure if we can make this show go off, we're going to make it go off. Because, like I said, this is unusual. We're trying to get that reemergence of the amateurs to come out there and get fired up, so we can, feed into the pro ranks and everything too. But it's getting these young guys that really want to compete. And right now, coming off of this whole COVID thing, you will get a lot of folks that are really, really interested. They're just kind of they're kind of hungry for competition right now, so they want to get out there and do it. So now would be the time for us to scoop them all up. So hopefully we'll be able to do that.
Well, and I know if that show goes on, you'll get them. You'll be sitting at the front lobbies of all the gyms in the Atlanta area.
That's right.
Scouting out the talent.
That's what
I don't doubt that at all. You would last year or 2 years ago, you were messaging me. I just got 15 more tickets. I just got 20 more tickets. I believe you'll make it happen. So, and remember, you got all year to do it. So you figure it out. Don't interfere with the Miss Olympia, though. You gotta keep that time to yourself.
We'll right there. We're looking forward to that.
Trying to get that 5P.
All right. Well, it was great. It was great talking to you guys. I miss you guys. Tell everybody down there I say hello, and I look forward to seeing you on March 20th. I'll be in touch with you with the details for that. Thanks for spending the time. Make sure you give Sid a big hug. And Cleveland. Give Cleveland a big hug for me, too.
I wish you will.
All right. Thanks for coming on. You guys have been awesome. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye. All right. See you.